The question is well framed. Why did I become Orthodox? Not what was the process.
Mm.
Why is basically a theological, philosophical question. Backing up, I happen to be a recovering alcoholic with 30 years sobriety. People say to me, how'd you get 30 years of sobriety? I didn't. God did. Therefore, on your question, why did I become Orthodox? I didn't. God did. That is to say, I know he called me in, and here I am. Short version of the process. I was a Roman Catholic monk 11 years, left Crisis of Faith, left everything, and became a Quaker, a high school guidance counselor Quaker. Met a woman who was spiritually lost, just like I was. She became a Quaker with me. And we would go to Quaker services and Quaker retreats and so on. We married. Roman Catholic to please my parents, never went back to the Roman Catholic Church. Continued as Orthodox. After our first child came along, Beth, my wife surreptitiously we lived in White Plains, began to come to St. Vladimir's for services, Vespers mostly. I didn't know it. One day she said to me, Al, would you go to a divine liturgy with me at St. Vladimir's? I said, sure. As if she had said, would you go to the American Ballet Theater with me? See Giselle? Sure. So we went. We came out. She gave me that feminine look. I know that's sexist, but true. She said, well, what did you think? And I knew what she wanted to hear, but I couldn't say it. So I said, it was good. She went flat as a pancake. I couldn't help that. So we just began I'll call it natural rhythm of going to St. Vladimir's one Sunday and a Quaker service the next Sunday. Beth is growing in this weird way. One Sunday I woke up. Usually I wake up and stunned, what's happening today? Is it going to be all at St. Vladimir's or total silence at the Quakers? I woke up and I had this awareness, not even a thought, certainly not a decision, just this, it was almost a yawn. It was like, it's time to convert. So when my wife woke up, I said, honey, I'm going to convert to Orthodoxy. And she said the perfect thing. Al, please don't convert for me or you'll resent me for that. I said, I'm not. I'm converting because I really want to. So I converted. But I was teaching full-time, tenured at Pace University, private practice as a clinical psychologist. I certainly didn't need more work, family. The next week, I get a call from Father Hopko. Can Father Paul Laser and I come up and have tea with you and Galena? Sure. So they came up, and I knew, and they knew, we weren't just having tea and little cookies. They were scoping me, and I was scoping them. I don't need more work. So we talked, and amiably, whatever my assessment of theirs was, we parted. The next week, Father Hopko gave me a call. Al, I have to go so-and-so and give a retreat. Would you give a class for me? Now it's a 2.5-hour class on prayer. I have a master's in Thomas Aquinas from when I was a monk, but I am somewhat familiar with Orthodoxy. So I said, okay. So I gave the class. And then shortly after that, the director of the Doctor of Ministry program suddenly died. Al, would you become director of our Doctor of Ministry program? Meantime, I'm teaching full-time. I have a pretty full private practice. Yeah, so I did that for a while. And in the Doctor of Ministry program, 8 required courses, 4 of them are taught by the director. So I taught 4 doctoral level classes and shepherded those students that I had. So I did that for a few years. I've done other things. I've been on faculty council more than 30 years. And I'm the resident clinical psychologist here and love it. So that's the short version.
Do you feel like that prepared you, helped you? And certainly you had the monastic experience. So what are some of those things that kind of
That's a great question.
help you come?
As a monastic, very much silence, which I loved. I also happen to be an introvert, so I've been that way. My wife died 30 years ago. I live alone in a little apartment, 2 children, 5 grandchildren. Was with my son last evening, overnight, in Philadelphia. But I love my time alone. I live in an apartment building with 160 units. Been there 15 years. I don't know anybody. I've never had any of them in. I've never wanted to watch a Super Bowl with anybody or play bridge or anything because I have all my people time here at St. Vladimir's. Then I go home, I want my solitude. So I have it. Your question about Quakerism, in a short answer, the word is yes. The Quakers were very formative for me post-monastic life as a transition to Orthodoxy. Mm. So I loved going to Quaker meetings. I'll give you one little example of Quaker meetings differ. Some are totally silent, wall to wall. Some have so they go an hour. After 20 minutes, if someone is moved, can stand up, say a sentence or two, and sit down. No converse. One time in New York City, at a meeting, after 20 minutes, a woman stood up, paused, and said, "Life is like a snowflake on the mitten of a child." She sat down. To this day, I can see that navy blue mitten, thumb end, no fingers, on a child, beautiful hexagonal snowflake, short-lived, as a metaphor for life. It was like perfect. So your question was, did the Quaker time help form me to prepare me for Orthodox? The answer is clearly yes. Clearly yes. That's some very fond memories of my time there.